the main two characters at the moment, we have Drodoc. Would you please describe what Drodoc is like?
I have sent people a image on. I made another image of the character on Hero Forge because that's what I'm doing for these little pre-sessions. But Drodoc is a Dwergar man. He likes order. He runs the library. He's very noble and orderly.
Okay, yeah, good. And of course, we have Gomira.
Gomira Drodoc, she is a half drow. She's got like pale lavender skin, she's got classic white hair. Her hair's kind of curly, messy. She's kind of done it in like up in a kind of Gibson girl hair bun thing, she's constantly sleeping. Kind of wears Edwardian-esque clothes, like a blouse, a skirt. Everything's quite smart, but everything's a bit like it's got, ink stains on the sleeves, so a little bit. It's disordered. And then on her shoulders, usually her familiar. He's a wizard. Lusky, the little celestial rat, who is the roundest and chubbiest of boys, constantly eating. She's also usually accompanied by her skeletons, which she has 4 of.
Yeah, I kind of like your entourage was in the back of my mind. Really. Okay, yeah. Do you have names for the skeletons as well?
I do. I figured them out today.
Okay.
So we have Verul, who is a drow skeleton.
Okay.
Dadra, who's also another drow skeleton. Ducky, who is a Surf Nibbler skeleton. And Admund, who's a Jorogar skeleton.
Okay.
And they all have light armor, and the bones are decorated in various different ways. Some have markings, some are quite slightly tinted and painted. All very, very well looked after. A bit more looked after than hair and stuff. Same with Lusky. And she kind of has a chancellor on their belt that has like a little belt components and stuff like that, and on the other side of her belt there's a book holder. And she also has a...
Okay, yeah. So, with them being... I'm just looking at the skeleton. I don't know right now. So, the armor is probably better than it is normally.
Yeah. They've got AC 30.
Well, I was just saying, if they're armored differently, they probably have better armor.
I've just done like the base, kind of.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it could be better
Oh.
if you want. Because,
Yeah.
I mean...
You've written that out.
Yeah.
I'm getting little seats.
I think it could probably be like 15. I say they're wearing like... Imagining they're wearing like studded leather.
Yeah.
Actually, if it was studded leather, then that'd be 4. If it was hide, it could be hide.
Pretty much. But that's all the same.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, yeah, a bit extra.
Yeah. A necromancer. You couldn't have guessed. That's good.
Yes. The other 2 people here will have nothing to do for a bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One playing on your phones. What are they both are actually doing?
I'm just taking character sheet.
Yeah, I'm getting my stats up so I can read those.
But yeah, Drodoc and Gomira, it is a apparently normal day in Hun'ett. The only thing is that fairly recently, because a certain item was lost from Hun'ett, stolen, you might say, and recently Lysandra, mother Gomira, has basically told you that the Queen, Umavi Zeres, I think Umavi Zeres has basically asked that someone could retrieve it. And Lysandra mentioned it, and well, I think it's fair to say Gomira said that it's basically got in her mind that she should go do it.
Oh yeah, she's very much jumped at it. She's like, oh, there's added.
Yeah. When Lysandra heard this news, she wasn't overly thrilled, but Umavi Zeres, on the other hand, was. She said, I could not imagine a better choice. Of course, this would mean that you need to go and get your magic tome from out of the library and bring it with you. So this requires a little trip to the library. I think it will start there.
To the library. I do have to return some books. I'm late on several.
So carrying several books.
Yeah.
We have an entourage of skeletons? Probably.
Are they helping you carry books?
It could be.
I probably haven't thought about that. I'm probably just carrying and struggling.
God is trying to catch up with you to help you carry the books.
Yeah. But I'm just like, just running along, just kind of like.
It is a quite short walk from your house to the library. You do live quite close by, relatively speaking. You walk up to this.
Jordan Kelly.
Alex.
Yes, I will describe the building. Large building of Logar design, crafted primarily of choice dark stones, perfectly cut to specific shapes with efficient chromatic grand library. Obviously, you run up hurriedly to the door. Do you just go in? Or?
Yeah, just walk in, just like push the door open. As soon as I go in, it's just start sounding, Gillick, I got my books.
I have been waiting for you for 2 days.
I'm sorry, I lost track of time. I took 5 more books and I had to read them as well. I'm just massive.
You're always borrowing more books than you can read in time.
Oh, I get distracted very easily. I buy more books and I think of something else and I buy more. I'm sorry.
Very well. I shall begin checking these in and putting them into the correct locations.
Thank you so much. Oh wait, no. I need to get my spellbook out.
Yes, the spellbook.
Yes.
I shall put these in my sorting pile. Hand these off to a. We'll see if there's anybody available that I can hand this job to, and I shall assist you in getting the spellbook.
Literally only.
Lysandra, books that need checking in. Overdue books that need checking in.
She walks down and says, hi, Gomira. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Mama.
Sorry, wait. These are late. Oh, again.
Yes.
Get you connected again.
She just has a face that says, yes, that's happened again. And picks up the books.
I've never.
I need you to do this as we have a spellbook that needs checking out.
I'm going today, Mama.
I do not allow other people to handle this job.
The Sandra kind of stops what she's doing and goes, oh, today's the day?
Yes. Go to the service, go let's see what it's like.
Oh. And, wait. Drodoc? You realise that she means she'll be taking the spell tome out of Hun'ett, you know?
Yes.
It's my spell tome. It's you don't store it here.
It is your spell tome, but it is an important magical item. We cannot risk losing this on the surface.
Of course,
I will-
Yes.
So maybe that means she can't go, right? Right, Drodoc?
But the Queen has asked me to.
That's
An order from the Queen is an order from the Queen. That is the highest order of Hun'ett.
yeah. Those true.
This is one situation where I would be allowed to have a spellbook leave the city.
I get to leave the city.
It is in the library's policies. Have you not been reading them?
No, I have. It's just well, but what,
I updated this recently.
Isn't it also in the policies, though, that we have to protect the books, particularly in contexts where they might be in danger?
This is true. However, here is an in-date risk assessment of letting a spellbook out to the surface. You will be required to return this.
I'm off into the library. I'm not down using a random book.
Gomira, I leave Lysandra the long scroll with all of the library's policies and head off to where I know I keep the spell tomes.
I don't know if Jordan notices or Gomira notices, but just for audiences, I guess. You notice that she's taken the sheet and is reading it really hurriedly.
I do paperwork as my IRL job.
You rush over to Gomira.
Yes.
Spellbook?
Now, I should note
Yes.
that all of these spell books are in a kind of almost cell-like structure, quarter of the library. You have the key that end allows you into.
Sort of take the key on a ring of keys out of my pocket. And do I need to enlarge to reach the door, or can I just reach the door normally?
Well, there's sort of like 2 floors, but Gomira is on the lower floor, and you can reach them.
Okay. So where is yours?
That is on the back, it's over there.
Okay.
It's section 4BS.
Well, fine. I shall. So he opens the door, walks in, sort of maybe talking to himself about like locating books.
Yeah.
And walks into the exact spot where he knows that book is, where she listed, takes the book out and brings it over.
Yeah. I'm imagining it's actually like in a kind of book satchel, like they're kept in them until they're sort of taken out for use.
Keep the dust off them, keep them clean.
Thank you, Gillick, thank you so much. Are you still okay with taking me to the surface, yes? And
Yes.
some other way.
Now, we are clear that because we are letting a spell tome of this importance to the surface,
Yes.
I'm only allowed to leave it in your care on the surface for 2 weeks maximum.
Yes,
And
I will
if
do
there
this
was-
in 2 weeks.
If there is any problem that means that it will have to take longer than 2 weeks, you must let me know
I
so
don't
that I
have that spell.
maintain. You must somehow alert the library so that we can update our records.
Of
It is
course,
very important that we know the location of this book at all times.
of course. But I'm sorry, we'll be able to find my father, get the stuff back in 2 weeks. I do not see why that will not happen.
That is acceptable. Just sign here so I know that you have signed it out.
Okay, Gomira.
I signed and dated it as well.
Hey.
I sort of put that scroll down and into my pocket as well, and sort of hand her the book in the book bag, and I'll take the bag back and put that in the safe as well. So, like, we have all of the library's own materials here.
Well, yeah, each satchel is pretty much specific to a specific book, so yeah.
Lock up the spell tomes and
Now that you actually have your wizard's book, obviously that means that you now have all access to all the spells. It's kind of funny to think, but before then you didn't. So yeah, I guess at this point, probably start thinking about preparing to leave. So Lysandra kind of wanders over and is like, so, what I'm really here is that you're actually required to accompany her to the surface, Drodoc.
yes, I have the proper PPE ready, and I have completed I have in-date risk assessments for various to the surface.
Like, Lysandra's face is bemused. She just looks at you like, oh, okay, what PPE?
I'm going to sort of walk past her, goes into his office, and there is a cupboard labeled like safety here, and he takes out his sort of ancient Dwergar armor
Yeah.
and a big hammer with the word silence just written on the side of it. Everything has the correct label on it to show that it has recently been checked, so that it is in good condition and is functional as PPE.
So actually, like, there's like a little tag on the hammer that says "Silence Hammer," listed, and it gives a date. And
Yeah, and the armor and everything. It's like,
and then each armor piece has like polished to this date.
brings out a spare helmet for Gomira.
Oh, thank you.
He might be a bit annoyed that the helmet itself is like 1 day away from needing the polish.
Just looking at like, this will need fixing tomorrow, but it's still in date.
I'm going to point out, every time you swing down the hammer, you just say silence will fall.
It's just, you better not talk too loud in the library.
The thing is, you have to kind of figure out which direction you're going to go. I feel like I should clarify a little bit of this image here. So, this sort of ground, like this sort of browner material, That's not like wall. What it is like ditch. Imagine the sort of it's more of a flattened out surface that all the buildings are sat. And then imagine you're in this sort of large cavern, and each of these leads to an exit, a sort of cave opening. You know that this western exit leads into a hole that goes vertically up. And, well, you know it goes to Menza Baranzan because historically, roughly 600 years ago, that is where Menza Baranzan attempted to invade. Failed. Blocking.
You're not fuck up on that.
Also, why those walls are built that way. The one to the south is a way that goes down to these sort of fungal canyons. It actually goes down further into the Underdark initially, but those fungal canyons, they go in a sort of spiral, rising up a slower journey, and it's probably safer because the only denizens that you know of that live there are, well, fungus and iconids, sentient fungus beings. Peaceful unless you were to attack. And to the northeast is a way known as the Needle Spire, due to all of these stalactites throughout it. No one has ventured through there in 300 years, and so it's largely an unknown. Obviously, technically speaking, because the Umavi has decided that you are to take on this mission, technically you're in charge of it, not drawn. So you get to decide where to go.
That's a good idea. First of all, I've been thinking quite a lot about this. Little fire doesn't seem that quick to know, so I'm really curious to go down there. But I might die, and Mama would be very upset about that. The Fungal Caverns would be quite good, because I really like to see what it's like down there. But Mesa Bands is a lot quicker, and I think if we need to do this in 2 weeks, it might be the best one. You have to spell flight, I think that's that.
But nobody has been up the Needle Spire and survived, therefore there is no risk assessment. So
Yes.
it is unknown. I would have to perform the risk assessment myself if you were to go that way.
Yes.
The Mushroom Canyon is the safest route. It was risk assessed last month. It is traversable. There is a low danger, but it would take 3 days. And the other path that you suggested is the quickest. However, it is the quickest. It is traversable. However, there is medium to high risk as we do go closer to that city.
Is they still must have heard that?
However, I am certified to take people to the surface. I am qualified. I have had all of the correct training. So, me being there with you would make it more feasible to use either of these routes.
Okay. Let's think. Fungal. Where's the best? But before we go, I do want to take a couple of stops. One to Mima, make us see. And then I heard there was a drow down here that studies stars, and I think he might have some information about this stuff. I think that would be quite good. Oh, I know, you have a coin.
I take a sort of little coin out of my pocket. Somebody who knows about the surface would help in this situation.
Yes, I'll ask him questions before we go. Okay, heads, Mezabanza, tails, fungal. Hey, we're going down the fungal bay.
That is the safest option.
Okay. Well, I will have to get food supplies. I'll get that for Mima. And then we'll go to I think it's Anne's, I've heard. We apparently study a thing called stars. I've never seen stars. Oh, I'm gonna get to see stars.
What time would you like to set off to the surface so that I can start preparing to write my report?
Oh, well, I'm getting stuff now, so. So you watch your part. I will get things that we meet at the exit.
Meet at the exit, yes.
Yes, okay.
I shall see you there in 1 hour maximum.
Okay, bye. This one's off.
He sort of goes into the library to start taking out some scrolls and something works as a clipboard so he can sort of write a report and risk assessment of this journey to the surface.
Run off to myself, get to my house, put everything in my bag of holding, then I'll probably run to my grandmother's stall, get some food.
Okay. There's just an aspect of Hun'ett I just want to clarify. Because you all live in a society in which you all have dark vision, there's not strictly a need for lights, because you can all still see. But you still do employ them sort of as a signifier for day and night. And also because without the lights, you actually can't see colour. So, basically, at the moment, there's sort of floating lights that have been cast around the city. Mainly in the areas that are actually... So, there's some around the marketplace. Not as many around the residence, a lot around the palace. But yeah, I suppose you would rush over the bridge, go past the palace. I don't know, do you care to like look over towards the palace as you pass it?
Probably, yeah, I think he's really curious. I think he's one of the people who's not... He's paying attention to everything, so he's having a look at everything, so because of that, he's not actually paying attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I'll give you a vague description. You get the vague impression of a armoured individual stood amongst Umavi Zres's garden, well, which you probably just in your mind think to yourself that is Brooks, who's a sort of undead guardian. You rush past the walls. You walk past what is known as sort of the grave house. I don't know if you... I suppose if you look over to it, you might get the vague impression of a face in a window.
I know he probably works quite a few times in there just to upkeep.
Yeah.
So he's probably like, yeah.
You rush past the Temple of Kirian. You probably will see a priestess stood out. She's wearing her black robes with golden trim. You think you get the vague impression of her shouting something like "good luck."
Yeah.
Probably see various stalls, and then you rush past. I don't imagining which way you go, north or south around the storehouse, but rush around one of them. Over to Anne's house, just there on the south. As you probably haven't spoken to him that much, nobody really does. He only speaks, well, sort of the Drow. He doesn't speak to much of anybody. He is the eldest resident. Nobody actually knows exactly.
I imagine this entire time he's been speaking common.
Yeah, most of the residents do speak the common.
Yeah, well, that'll be their undercommon, so that's their common pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. In comparison, then there's like Snurf, Nibblin, Blogar, and Drow have their own. Basically variations of Gnome, Dwarf, and Elf. So I guess you rush over to the door?
Yeah. It's over and just...
So you hear, "Oh, I'm coming!" He says in a kind of the common. Oh, that's quite.
He had like he was struggling. I want to make sure you're okay.
He's turned towards speaking elf now, and he looks sort of up, sort of.
I'm not
squinting his eyes.
I'm not 5 foot, but I'm imagining he's basically just carved it himself from the voice.
Yeah, so he actually first thing he seems to see is the two skeletons. Just says, "Oh, who sent you two? What do you want?"
Oh no, hi, yeah.
No, hello.
Gomira.
Oh right, yes. Lissandra's last.
Yes, hi.
What would it be, dear?
Oh, I was wondering if you could help me out. See, I'm going to the surface today, And I was wondering if you have any information. I'm happy to send you any letters about stars, because I know you like stars. And I'm going to see a lot of... What is it like?
My dear, you have accomplished something that nobody has for a long time. You have achieved my interest.
Yay!
I would like visions, stars. Perhaps, I have various, abilities to communicate long range. Oh, my dear, the skeleton has appeared with lots of food. Let's eat, and then you can talk to him.
Okay.
We'll continue after we eat. So, Gomira was speaking to Ans, who just begun to speak.
Yes.
He was saying, yes, you've achieved my interest, dear. I would like to aid you in exchange. I would like information, and if possible, visions of the surface.
Oh, yes, I have encode thoughts. I can do that. I have to be here to do that.
I
I can
perhaps
write this.
read.
Yeah, I can test it. Yes, I can.
Okay. If I might be of any aid to you, my powers of divination. Moment. After command.
Oh, brilliant. Yes. I just really want to know a bit about the surface, because I've never been. I'm guessing you've been there. What could you say, stars?
I have been there before, yet. It was a long, long time. Things may have changed. In fact, I'm quite certain. The surface world is quite different to down here.
Yes.
One might even consider it a different plane in a way. They're very, very connected and other places.
Yes.
You will give me but a moment. Cast a spell. It will take me, and
Yes, that is fine.
he sort of wanders, like really slowly walks over to his table. He then lights some incense, and he brings forth some ivory strips from the king's small chest he was keeping on him, and lays them forth. The incense smells very. You think this sort of lesser version of this incense is put throughout the grave house to make it smell nice? Certainly, there's some there. Don't smell particularly good. He then seems to just go into a trance there and just.
And I sort of stayed there for just kind of here in front of him, just
He doesn't seem to acknowledge.
bit of a circle. Don't touch things, shouldn't touch things. What's that?
So, yeah, I mean, on his shelves, there's lots of books. They seem to be mostly written in Elf. I should read them. So, I mean, if you're just grabbing one at random, are you actually trying to find anything, or you just?
No, she just got distracted by something. It's completely he can't wait 10 minutes standing. And now she's looking.
Okay. Roll just charisma. Was it roll?
Just a black charisma check.
Yes. Up. Up.
Oh, nice.
For a total of what? Like 20?
24.
Right.
19 charisma. You can't drown.
Right.
Not easy.
So,
Yeah, and we've got to see what in Spider Lady.
gods favor you, I guess. Which gods we don't. Okay. So you happen to pick up, sort of, I would say, the most useful book to you as a person that you possibly could have picked up. I suppose Gomira doesn't really know this, but she just grabbed one at random. But I'm just giving you a little bit of context for why this information is going to be seemingly important. She picks up a book that's titled The End of Worlds. Or rather, it'd probably be On the End of Worlds. The book seems to explain, in very impartial sort of language, the requirements and nature of the ending of the world. And basically explains a little bit of the history of certain times this has happened. It mentions the Age of Giants, which has ended. It's just sort of puts that as the previous age from the one that currently exists. The date of this current book seems to have been written in the last 200 years. I suppose if you look for an author, it actually seems to be written by Hans himself. Seems to have written this. Oh. Technically, it's his own book that he has written himself, so technically he has the right to have it here in his. But I suppose I'm imagining Drodoc has wanted to take the books from his house for some time. What else would it say? It probably, in the details of how a world ends, is that it says the very first step is in one of the gods dying. And then it says, then the old of the rest of them will follow. It says then that the Pantheon will be replaced, and in so doing there'll be a shift of the nature of reality. As one world ends, another begins. I think of what else. How far does she... Is she trying to get any specific information on this subject after she sort of understands what the book is based on?
I think she would generally start. She'd like to.
I think that then she would probably get sort of less significant sort of details based on those. So it would mention like the ending of the previous age was done by the gods of the age and the peoples of the age. That's the giants and other entities that it describes as the people basically engaged in a great war that resulted in the destruction of their time. And it also mentions that there is remnants of that age in the far north of the surface. Other than that, he seems to stir while you are reading. Yes, I suppose then after he stops, he just goes, I have retrieved some recent history, dear. Perhaps it might be useful for you of the surface water.
Please, yes, please let me know.
A figure. His name. Elaine. He has appeared, and the various people have flocked to him, and various others do not like him. Cause a certain amount of civil unrest. Although it seems up there they are quite distinct groups, ruling each other quite separately. In recent history, this individual has also been blamed for the death of a lord, though it seems there is some dispute as to whether or not he is actually to blame. Also significant, a figure who sort of mysterious man, as handsome, he is apparently to blame for the death of a god. As a result of this, apparently the sun, which I don't imagine. Imagine that there's a big bright light in the sky.
Oh, okay.
they have a cycle in which the sky it appears this bright light, and then it goes away. It goes under. There's no. It's hard to describe, but it goes away sometimes. During the time between it going away and it still being there, it's sort of halfway gone. It that they call that dusk. It stopped. This was due to the god in question being deceased.
Well, that's not very good, is it? Quite sort of look.
Oh, good point, dear. Yes, you might be on a little bit of a schedule if you're going up to the surface because, well, I recommend you get back before the book. I think you may have the shortest time I ever had recorded was 5. So that's a short schedule, relatively speaking. But anyways, the sun, the bright light has started moving again since based on another god has taken up the mantle. That was the duty of moving this. Yes, I should probably just describe to you that there is no ceiling up there.
What is up there?
There is the bright light known as the sun, and at night there is a more smaller light sometimes called the moon, and much smaller lights than that called the stars.
What you studying?
Yes. When I was there, I was finding magic in the stars that allowed me to try and divine the nature of future with limited.
If the world is ended, doesn't that mean everyone dies?
Yes, but we're in a different world here. You don't have to worry about that. Well, unless you're there. Yeah. Is there anything else of value to mention about the surface at the moment? Any clans, different peoples, they don't all like each other. Oh, there has been the appearing of a group that is sort of, for short, they call them the Tuatha Didan. But they are a sort of invasive group. They are also at a sort of civil war between each other. Some feeling that the people of the surface are to be culled, and others that they are to be protected. There's a distinct nature of them is obscured to me because they are, it seems, not of the surface world. Just to mention, doesn't seem there's much more that I think would be. Oh, the only thing I might mention is there's a general superstition that the blackbirds who they are like a winged.
Like bats?
Yeah, no. You ever seen you might have seen some of the cephalopod creatures.
Oh, yes.
You know their beaks.
Yes.
Imagine if a bat had a beak like that.
Oh.
And they have something called feathers.
Okay. Yes, I've seen feathers. I've seen people wear them on that.
Yes. Imagine they have like feathers and they are black. And they're called birds.
Okay.
And there's a general superstition that they have a connection to a certain goddess of foresight. She is actually of some interest to me if you to meet her. I'd like to know what she.
Of course, I will keep in touch.
Yes, I think that will probably do. Well, I will also keep in touch. Good luck.
Thank you, okay.
I would like to point out to Elder as well that Esme chose to go see Hans, and that this could have very much not happened if we had not done it. Also, that Natural 20 or just randomly grabbing a book from the
In 5 weeks, sweet.
The nat 20 come out.
Sent to give us the wind off it, take.
Nothing that 20 giveth, and that 1 taketh away.
One
I
time
think in
I
5
rolled
weeks, the world takes away.
one time I
Yeah.
rolled 3 nat 20s in a row on the same 20.
Nice.
None of them for like attack or anything. They were just for like really random things. The DM gave me like a inspiration for doing that. To be like, I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah. So, it's probably been about 25 minutes since you left Drodoc. Despite him giving you an hour of time, he's probably getting impatient.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so probably on the way back, probably just says goodbye to her grandmother, says goodbye to her mother.
So I'll just describe that a little bit. Like, Yvette Drodoc is deceased, and she is a skeleton at the marketplace in the sort of center of Hun'ett. She is selling fruits, sort of mostly dried in their form. And the little money that she makes from gives to the Drodoc family. I guess then you go to the library as well. I mean, obviously, Droda and Lysandra are both there.
I'm back.
And in good time too.
Yes, my father met his next time. I probably the world is.
I was not prepared for this knowledge, but I shall see what. But I will see if I can include this in my report when we get to the surface.
I somebody killed a god or something. Are you ready?
Have you got everything that you wanted before leaving?
Yes, I've got a stuff. I've got a ski.
Lysandra is just like staring between the two of them, just like.
Then, if everything is ready, we shall take our leave.
I'll be back soon, Mama. I promise.
I put the PPE helmet back on her.
He just like seems to be kind of paralyzed and then just hugs her back.
No, Mommy, I will teleport back. I will teleport.
Yes, we do have
A lot quicker to get back.
Yes. Do be careful.
Yes, I will be. But Lusky,
And if you do meet your dad,
Hey,
I'll do it.
thanks.
Bye, Mama. Give another big hug. It's long. I died anyway.
Jordan will make a note on his sort of report scroll that he started writing and sort of walk off in the direction of the mushroom caverns.
Like, I was just like, just cheerfully chatting along with you. You're probably just like completely ignoring this because you just think like, the sounds good to be like, whenever I actually see a dog, and a very fluffy. Just going on just tangent after tangent after tangent.
He's just writing out a big report of like everything that, like, this is the time that we left, this is the direction that we took, it is estimated it will take us this long.
So, I'm going to have a little bit of a scene shift. Okay, could you give this Drow's name? It's
Oliver.
Oliver. No. At this point in time, Oliver is more terrified than he's ever been by her life. He finds himself about 70 feet on the side of a cavern, stuck to it by webs. He is tied up. He does not have his mouth. Everything else.
Lovely.
The entity that did this to him, well, was a Drider that he has never met. She seemed to delight in his pain, suffering, and fear. But then she said, I'll be coming back to you later. And she left. It was about an hour ago. It's at this point that a very strange, unexpected event happened. Seemingly just walking through this cavern full of webs is an elf from the surface, clear from his distinct pale skin. And he just seems to be wandering along, looking around with a kind of confused expression.
Hey, you. Okay. Up here.
Hey, that's new. I've not been to this cavern yet. Progress!
Don't care where you've been. You cut me loose before a fucking spider lady eats us.
Is this a trap?
It's going to be if you don't hurry the fuck up.
Ah, yes, well, in that case, it seems I have no choice. At that point, I just, go to one of the daggers I have, and I just use mage hand to try and, lift it up and, put them out with it.
I think I'm about to be that guy.
Yep.
This reading mage hand only has a range of 30 feet.
Oh, is he 70 foot high?
Yes.
Ah. It goes 30 foot high and then draws off. You seem to be a bit too high for that.
Yeah. You know how to climb. It's a cave wall.
The cave wall is covered in. No. You do think that you probably could climb on some of it like ropes. The stickiness of it probably varies.
I mean, I could burn the ropes, but you probably wouldn't like it.
Well, it's either you get me out or I'm going to be eaten by a giant spider, so take your pick.
For people listening, he is pondering this carefully.
I mean, I'm not going to be eaten by the spider. I've already suffered enough losses. You wouldn't happen to know your way out of here, do you?
Well, sounds you're lucky day I'm trying to get the hell out of here.
Good enough for me.
You probably think to yourself, "Oh, way." You knew it was one of two ways. You went the wrong way.
So, at that point, considering it would, I am going to try and climb up the webs to get a bit closer to him.
Okay. Just make an athletics check. Interesting to know how good it's going to be at this. Okay.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
One.
That's fair enough, but
So that's a 9.
Okay. So what happens then is the character we know as Nemesis
Nemesis.
starts climbing. You get about halfway up even, about 30 feet, but it's at that point that you find yourself, you've got your hands stuck to the wall.
oh my god.
You think that you would have to pull them off without falling back, which so that calls for another athletics check or an acrobatics check. With acrobatics, you'll be sort of trying to pull them off and then grab the webs again.
Yeah.
Whereas with athletics, you're sort of doing them one at a time using your strength.
Well,
Existence.
yes, my non-existent strength compared to my surprising dexterity, so
Yeah.
acrobatics it is. 12. I got a 10 both times.
You do just about manage to pull the webs off. It looks like you're about to fall backwards. But you manage to grab some of the webs and start climbing again.
Oh,
You make it to about 60 feet. You're about just 10 feet under.
this should be close enough. And then I actually do mage hand again.
Okay, and then you cut the ropes for him. Yeah, so
So you didn't cut me loose before.
you are like, your back is like stuck
Yeah.
to the webs behind you.
You felt close.
And then you're, but now your chest and arms and legs are free. So tear yourself
Yeah,
off
exactly.
the wall.
That's never a good feeling.
To get down, the two of you are called for, well, it depends how you want to do it. If you want to, say, drop down and then grab webs on the way down, you could acrobatics it.
Definitely.
I've got climbing speed.
I do have a.
you-
What they call. Second story what? Climbing no longer costs me an extra movement.
Huh?
That's always a good thing.
Okay.
Mobile.
You don't actually have climbing speed.
No.
Okay.
But I climb that.
Yes. Okay. Well, you can basically roll acrobatics or athletics to go down. And you can do that.
Cool.
Your circumstance means that I'm going to make you roll once.
Yay. Right, give me that. What's my bonus for that?
18.
That's pretty good.
This'll die.
You get yourself down a long quite
wait.
a distance.
17.
Give me some. That's 12 plus 9, so that's 21.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, yeah, fucking rogues with their
Yeah.
fucking. I love that.
I have expertise in acrobatics.
So you basically you just drop down about 10 feet repeatedly, just do,
Yeah.
and then you're on the floor. And you're still about 25 feet in the webbing. Roll again to get yourself down the rest.
10.
So yeah.
Okay. So what happens is you do indeed drop down, but not particularly well. I will say that Olimar has an opportunity to try and catch him.
Considering he's going to consider leaving me here now.
So, Olimar, roll acrobatics to land well.
I'm all
Oh, I'm getting mixed up. Nemesis.
Nemesis.
I'm going
Nemesis.
to get a name like that.
12.
Okay, you don't land too bad. You just take like 1 point of damage as your you sort of roll onto your side. You kind of knock your knees and just side a little bit. But you're okay.
Do that Mario one where I just like land like partly crouched and then just
Yeah. It was a sort of worrying crash, but you're okay.
Right, so you're looking for the way out, yes?
Yes, I came down here and I seem to have gotten lost.
Well, clearly, because you shouldn't be here.
Well, we came down, there was buildings, we went somewhere else, there was more buildings, the party died, and I got confused.
Yeah, sounds about right for you, surface folk. Well,
What does it look like, by the way?
that typical drow. He's roughly 6 foot.
Very pale,
Slender.
sickly looking elf who isn't a skeleton, but looks almost like a skeleton.
Yeah.
No,
You
I
probably
can't.
think this is normal.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
people
probably.
and like
Maybe you think that
Weird.
on the surface
Weird
floor,
surface elves, yeah.
maybe they don't have any food.
Yeah.
That
That was tasty fungi to eat.
yeah, exactly right.
Okay. And gloves.
Question. So you could either go back the way you came, or you could continue through the cavern to get to the other side.
And now you said there was a way I thought I should have gone.
Yes.
That one.
So I guess you're going back the way you came.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, be quiet about this, for the love of God. Don't want to get spotted by anything.
I will mention that was the direction that this entity who
Yeah, hence
put you there went that.
be quiet.
never fear, I shall be as quiet as a mouse.
Okay, he'll make a great meat distraction.
So as you're wandering through, I'll take a stealth roll from both of you, if proficient.
Olimar's made it quite clear that stealth is required here.
Yes. I imagine that Olimar will do well.
I mean, that was 20. Does that count?
He
No.
didn't go down the tower.
Ooh.
That's not a great roll.
11.
Can you actually hit the tower?
2 on the die.
Well, now I can't even see the dice.
Did you? 3.
No. 8 total.
Eight?
I got 11. 2 plus 9.
Wow.
I got 6 plus 2.
You're just really annoyed at him.
Yeah, I'm probably just really pissed off at this loud surface elf making his nose.
Huh.
Well, okay.
Uh-oh.
My question I have to ask you is, how close to Nemesis was he?
Probably about 10 feet away. Okay.
Can Olimar roll perception?
Certainly.
Squishy boy.
Oh, for God's sake. That's a 4 plus 4, 8.
8, okay.
Oh my god, these are all terrible.
Olimar thinks he might have had an opportunity to sort of jump and duck away and hide out. But while Nemesis is playing, quite suddenly from the ceiling, the entity you met earlier appears
One other title for it.
and goes, "A new specimen," and then realizes you're there and turns and goes, "Where are you going?" And that's where we'll stop there for a moment and go back.
Oh god.
Oh yes, and fish. I'm just got loads of different types of fish. One of them called goldfish was really great. Just carry on and on. He has not shut up.
It's like, okay, but there is no water on the way between here and the surface. If there is, then maybe I shall make a note of the aquatic creatures that live within it.
Okay,
So
give me I can eat.
you two have started walking into the canyons, and you're just starting to see the change in the air because canyons. The spores are, of course, in the air. Not harmful, as far as you know, but it makes the air look kind of a tinge of yellow, but sickly.
Its ability started to be reduced by 4 clouds.
Yeah.
Visibility is still acceptable.
You are also aware, Drodoc definitely, that there are quite a few outgoings to the fungal canyons to gather fungus. Usually just one person with an entourage of them. You also in your society are seen as well. So
Walkway was unobstructed.
Like possible.
Please fill in as possible. Workplace is in suitable condition for fungal gathering and traversing.
After some time, about an hour, you start to actually see fungus growing on the walls, the ceiling, the floor. It is abundant, but it's also clear where people have walked before due to the lack of sort of in the center of this otherwise very large canyon. About 500 feet across once it opens up, and it seems to go on for some distance. Obviously, in the distance you can see probably about 2,000 feet away, you can see as the cavern starts to turn towards the left. And you get a slight incline going in. You're starting to feel like you're walking uphill rather than steep.
Good and better signpost, incline in a walkway. But when visibility is low, this could cause a risk of tripping and injury.
As you keep walking through, I'd just like to know just how much conversation occurs during this time.
Probably one-sided.
Yeah.
You're just mumbling everything you know about the surface world.
Yeah, and then was like anything she sees, what's just like mumble about stuff like that, just definitely speak about it.
Jordan just occasionally points out something that's like changed or is new in the fungus canyon.
Makes me do some like speak and look scared as well.
Could Drodoc make a perception check, please?
Okay. That is a 4.
Right.
Does it? I don't think if I get anything to perception.
You might know.
What does it go off of?
It's
That's a +1, so that's a 5 overall.
Yeah, he's just like looking around thinking, yes, everything is as it was before. Mushrooms haven't changed. It's while he's walking along and you're starting to get up more of an incline. Some of the mushrooms start to move. They seem to stand up with humanoid forms with large heads. Have a vague impression of eyes and mouth, but no actual opening or eyes.
Yeah.
They seem to sort of stare at you. Drodo's probably vaguely aware of Myconid.
Yeah.
And the general rule of thumb that they don't really hurt people unless...
Myconids are near path at this distance within. Maybe we could add more beware Myconid warning signs.
Hello, Mechanids! Walking past.
We did not approach them.
You think you see one of those smaller Myconids after a moment or two, like hold up a hand and wave back. Seems to just sort of be copying you think?
Obviously. This is what
Yeah, you see like it seems like the bigger ones seem to just stare at you, but you see some of the smaller ones seem to start copying what you do.
Yeah, you might have to start dragging her across because it's getting distracted.
Yeah, absolutely. Grab her and drag her along. Like you want to get to the surface as soon as possible, right?
Yes, yes. Hi, Mechanids, nice to meet you.
The fastest way to reach the surface is to keep walking.
Yes, okay.
As you're wandering through, something that you note, you think that in about 3 hours, you expect that you'll get to the exits of the canyons in about... Well, you start to note that the skeletons that you have following you are starting to get fungus spores building up within their, like,
No.
their pots.
Just get like a all of like whatever skeleton cleaning shit she has.
Yeah.
Just like starts like cleaning while walking. It's like, no.
I'm imagining there's a sort of small brush, that sort of thing. It's just like peeling it away. Yeah. You travel like this for some time. I just basically want to know if there's anything in particular you guys want to be doing in the hours that you go through.
I think Jordan's probably going to be largely focused on his risk assessment. Maybe asking Gomira a question about like what she plans on doing.
Oh, tell me, I have some call. Really? It does me. Apparently they're in trouble. Also, apparently some person who's already had some trouble with God. Maybe look into that because that's very interesting. Find Papa and then find the stuff bullets and get home.
Okay, just before Drodo responds, hold on, my head is just... Ooh.
He's just sort of, you just sort of see like stops writing reports.
I love the idea that she has sort of slightly misremembered Culane as Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
Gotta find Colin.
Oh,
It's well-known fiction though.
oh, okay.
Oh shit, here we go. What?
So, how did Jordan respond?
Well, I hope this Colin fellow is safe. I hope the gods haven't died. That would probably cause problems for us as well.
Well, if the world has ended before, but if it's actually probably ended, then people must have survived. I think it's just like mostly kill people, not entirely.
I wonder if it would be worth sending more expeditions to the surface.
Oh yes, we can still run.
Nick makes a note of this inside in the report, like perhaps we could send teams to investigate the surface world. Need more risk assessments for journeys to the surface world.
That's fine.
Yeah.
After many hours running, probably quite tired, but you come to a point in the canyons you note something that has changed according to the previous risk assessment. The lack of fungus. The fungus seems to start thinning out earlier than previously reported. May mention though that the previous risk assessment was about you actually I'm gonna record.
Yeah.
Well, previous risk assessment was for like say a few miles in. The previous risk assessment for at the top of the fungal canyons was, I'm gonna say, over 200 years ago.
Okay. Nobody's gone this far in a long time, so we haven't needed to update the risk assessment this far yet.
Yeah. So yeah, you basically notice the lack of fungus, like it starts to be thinning out much earlier than you previously.
You just immediately frantically start writing this down, like at distance this far into the canyon. Fungus spores began to thin out. Noticeable decrease in size and area coverage.
As you're walking along, you then note that it's seemingly all the myconids in sight start running towards you. They're running.
Myconids began acting aggressively.
They seem to run towards all of you. They don't seem to even acknowledge your skeletons. Seemingly kind of even knocking into them as if they don't see them. And they kind of like grab your hands or like arms, like they're like sort of lightly pulling you, like not like actually pulling you back, but they seem to almost not want you to go.
Okay.
They go that way.
I'm going to pull out the silence hammer.
What are you doing?
Is there like wildlife is behaving in a hostile fashion?
It's not the giving folks. It's very nice. Hello.
There's an unusual behavior for myconids in this location.
When you pull out the hammer, several of them sort of back up and they hold up their hands.
See, this is the proper procedure. When wildlife threatens you, act defensively.
Sweating. He's pretty much in like just like holding on to himself.
One that seems to be much larger than the rest, towers above both. I think about it stands closest to you as it can behind all the other lightning, and it points down the cavern of opening. The slant is now quite steep over.
No, what's wrong? They're healing is bad.
Myconid wildlife being intimidated by some occurrence this deep into cavern in this direction.
Oh, but we should definitely check it out.
Well, that is part of the direction that we need to take to get to the surface from this point. However, I cannot allow the wildlife to stop us from moving, so he'll just continue to brandish the hammer at it until it sort of moves out of the way a bit.
This larger myconid holds up a hand, and all of the other myconids back off away.
Sort of continue to hold the hammer like defensively, but then back away and sort of, I guess, follow the sort of survival guides you would be given for how to avoid a hostile encounter with a myconid.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main things it was saying there is if you have the opportunity to not attack, don't.
Yeah, just don't attack.
Hostile encounter with the wildlife was de-escalated following the proper procedures. Medium risk level.
Don't worry, they mentioned on prepared today, so we can come back to that quite quickly.
Very smart thinking.
Also having visibility and flying, and any hotch for we need to come.
That is incredibly well prepared.
We didn't miss those.
If only you could be this prepared when it comes to library books.
I keep forgetting to discuss it, but so interesting though. Let's sleep. Let's sleep. Yeah.
I suppose you continue on, leaving the myconids behind.
Yes. I'll leave the myconids behind, but I'm going to be sort of still holding the hammer defensively. It's like, there's potential danger up ahead.
All the other smaller myconids seem to sort of get back to wherever they were. hand. But they all seem to just stare at you, wandering off in the distance.
Yes.
Until you go out of sight. Looking in the corner. As you go up, roughly at the extra canyon above comes into view, it sort of seems to circle around heavier than the previous one. But as you come round it, you start to see the relatively recognizable signs of webbing.
Okay.
That's of, well, it seems to be regular spiders hanging from the ceiling. The canyon is also seems to be getting smaller.
Need better signposts for the different height in the roof of the cavern. Risk of head injury. Spider population seems healthy. Maybe we could clean out the webs more often, as they are a danger to the visibility of the cavern.
Spiders are pretty common, to be fair. They're small spiders.
Certainly not uncommon. In fact, you know that they're more common the higher you get, the closer to the surface you. You, as far as you know, the rough distance from Enzabarazan and exit of this canyon is about 5 miles. So it's further away than the other exit. The distance to the surface.
We're fairly close now. I'll just sort of start brushing away the spider webs to sort of clear more visibility. Continue walking through.
I just had a weird thought. Do you actually, do either of you have like a method of knowing what time of day it is?
I mean, I assumed that Jordan would have something that functions as a watch. But I don't know if he'd know if that was surface time.
I think you have like, I think more Drodoc kind of just has a kind of clock. He knows what time of day it is in net, but you might not know what that would be relative.
I'm probably the timekeeper looking at.
Yeah.
Keep track of like.
A simple like clock is probably something that is around in Hun'ett. I don't know if you actually have like a small one. I think there probably are some, but they're probably only some of the day. Probably like 3 in them. Okay. So, as you're walking through, like I said, getting smaller, that was relatively speaking, because before it was about 5 wide. Now it's getting smaller, but it gets down to about 100 feet. Roughly in order. The webbing, it starts to get thicker. But at this point, you start to notice it's not just getting thicker in the sense that it's probably, because the actual webs are getting bigger.
The size of spider webs is larger than usual at this point into the cave.
You also note something, well, you know what, let you two just roll an intelligence check.
That is a 2.
Yeah, roll.
Well,
That's
that's a 2
Just
plus
so-
1, so that's a 3.
Yeah, I feel it kind of beats that stat line a little bit. You probably have like +3 for intelligence.
Okay, so 5.
19 plus 8 intelligence.
Yeah.
+5. 24.
The Jordan is probably thinking that we need to action a new wildlife survey of the area.
So Droda's kind of concentrating on that and writing stuff down. Gomira notices something strange, which is the presence of the webs but the lack of any spiders.
Yes. It is around.
That's what I was thinking. I think we need to send out a new wildlife surveillance team. What do you think has happened to the spider population then?
That's a bit too big.
sort of touch the web a bit, sort of take a look at it, like,
I don't know if, well, one of those things where I'm like, I'm not sure how knowledgeable you two would be around this kind of. Yeah.
Kind of like mythological, but is it just
Yeah, it's one of those things that she might have read about, but then again, it's one of those things like, it might be a subject that's not very liked internet.
I think it's kind of the whole however it for them is like love and that lot's pretty much like their devil. So you hear about them, but they're very much in the like warning side of it.
It might be that, and also to a certain extent, nothing relevant to that sort of thing in love has really happened in net in a very long time. It might be seen as a bit of a...
Yeah, it's like the whole myths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you're bad, like you
Yeah, stories told about... Stories told to children.
yeah.
So, I mean, if you would... you don't need to roll anything. I'd say the concept of the Dryder probably goes through your mind, but whether or not you think Dryaders are actually real, it maybe is a bit...
Or if it's freaked out, it's like when you're walking through like a really creepy old house. Even if you don't believe in ghosts, ghosts are gonna come. Yeah.
Whereas Drodo probably... I'm imagining he doesn't even think of it, and he probably thinks the concept of Dryder...
Gomira definitely thinks about that. It's a bit worried. Probably tries to logic out. It's probably just a really, really big spider. A massive one.
yeah. So, see, this is why we need a new wildlife surveillance team up here.
Might be a really, really big one.
Like, if something has changed in the local environment that's allowing the spiders to grow larger than usual, or maybe this is a new invasive species of spider that is larger and is making webs like this, which could be a threat to the current spider population.
Yes.
If I am not the park ranger,
I scouted. Keep an eye out for spiders.
Vaguely nod at you. Okay. So I suppose you continue it.
Lost just a bit like, okay.
he's walking along.
Okay. After some time, the webbing gets sort of thicker, sometimes going across the cavern, and you have to sort of, you might have to sort of walk around it or under it, if need be. After some time, you start to hear, maybe, I'm imagining whispering between Olimar and Yemis. Imagine. What is the conversation like? Imagining these two tied up on the walls again, across from each other.
Well, I had a brilliant plan to get out of it. I don't understand why it didn't work.
I told you to fucking quiet.
Well,
How hard is that?
the plan was either an illusion or just to blind the spider. Neither of them worked. I'm astounded.
For Gomira, who speaks, elf, actually for you as well, really. His dialect.
Does he speak Undercommon?
His dialect of Undercommon is strange. To be honest, if he speaks elf at any point, his dialect of elf is weird as well.
Gomira was just like standing in between you two, just like just walking there. It's like, why are you two on the wall?
Like fucking spider lady. Why do people keep showing up?
Well, we are here on business.
Yeah,
Why are you here?
I'm trying to get out of this place. I've been locked for ages.
Can I just immediately start
High risk.
bolting around them, like shooting away?
Yeah, so I would like you to make a spell attack. The aim of this is to hit the web and knock them.
Don't that one. Please don't that.
11 plus 11.
Would I have
Right.
space to enlarge?
Yes, you would at this point.
Okay.
So which one are you getting?
Uh,
Okay. So this drow lady with her entourage of skeletons and a worm, she shoots a fire bolt, a little fire, at the webs and seems to burn you out.
Okay, that's fine. Why are you helping?
Well, you look like you were in trouble. I want to help you. Hey, I'm Gomira. What's he doing?
Oh,
Oh, 1 minute. I'll get your friend.
I have health and safety training, which is my duty to save anybody who I see in
why are
trouble.
you with this person?
Because I need to ensure safe passage to the surface for her.
I'm going to find my father.
You know how to get to the surface?
Oh, it looks like we're all headed the same way.
He's still in the web.
He is at the
I'm
moment.
going to say, shall I just enlarge, pick him out of the web?
Try to think about whether you could reach. Yeah, you'd be able to reach. So if you enlarge, the border basically grows in size, seemingly like out of nowhere.
Oh shit.
Basically, you think you could just about reach if you jump.
Yes, this is how he reaches the tallest shelves in the library.
Grows to
Grab
about,
this guy out of the web, like,
yeah, he's standing about 10 foot tall, which doesn't seem that big. It seems that this, for some reason the Drider only puts you about 40 feet high this time.
He's got lazy, I'll take it.
Maybe it's because she was kind of playing back and forth with the two of you. She seemed to want you two to be eye level with each other.
Good idea. Been staring bullets into him the whole time.
The spider lady put you here. How is that happening?
what do you mean by a spider lady?
Yes.
Well, it looked like a spider. It looked like a lady.
You're not from Rappington.
Let's get quite close to Hun'ett. It's not around that way.
You probably have never heard of it.
No idea where that is.
Oh, it's a beautiful kingdom.
Great. You work at the spider bitch.
What? He's like devil. He's evil.
Alright, don't hate you.
What is a spider bitch?
Love. It was love. The dark.
That is a children's story.
The devil.
Well, there's a spider lady over there who would disagree with you. Be my guest to find out.
Riders actually exist?
Yes.
That's fascinating.
You can eat you if you like.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, since this time I can't be quiet, let's go the other way.
I can be quiet. I can be as quiet as well.
We need to go this way.
Oh,
That's
for
good.
fuck's sake.
And I thought you knew the way.
There's many ways to the surface. You just need to go up.
I tried that. I still end up further down.
This,
That's because you're an idiot.
I have confirmation that this is the safest passage to the surface from the Underdark.
Can I just ask everyone? I don't think Border has one as such, but we'll say that you've got 11 passive perception. What are the passive perceptions of the other characters?
Yeah.
I know, my passive perception's 11.
Oh, great, yeah, it's
11,
Mine's 14.
14.
You're passive, yeah?
Load please.
If you took this, I can't.
Passive perception is 14.
So the two of you, i.e. Nemesis and Olimar, you both kind of lock onto something has kind of crawled into the canyon and is on the ceiling.
Want to meet a spider bitch? There's one for you. Throw weapons. And starts running the other way.
I'm just gonna look up and pull out the silence hammer.
So roll initiative.
Am I still giant? Or
Yes, enlarge lasts for
1 minute.
Yes, 1 minute. I would say it's been about probably about 30 seconds, so probably have about 5 rounds of enlarge left.
The speed
9
of your
plus 3,
burst
12.
has increased to highest level of risk.
17.
I have 9.
So, and yours was 4. The first person to act.
Yeah, Mrs. Okay. So, with that perception, is it fair to tell whether the giant spider's seen us yet?
You expect so, because you are all stood in the middle of this Tavern. You're about 100 feet away. Pretty sure she also has dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
And you also... Well, the fact that you're, like, right in the center.
Oh yeah, I've got superior language and I can totally see it.
Yeah, you can see her in detail.
Nice.
In
Good.
black and white.
I'm gonna need to.
Yeah, you actually can't... Wait a minute. You've got 60-foot dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would be.
Yeah, I think those have dark vision.
Yeah, they definitely have dark vision.
Yeah. I think this actually means that you don't. The Nemesis doesn't see it.
Well, I mean, I did just point out
But you do.
there's a spider bitch on the ceiling and he's just started piecing out.
So, all your prompt is then is that you can't see it because your vision actually stops at about 60 feet. It's dark.
Yeah.
But, also note to all of you, you are currently seeing in black and white unless you have a source of light. So, yeah, you don't actually see her, you just see darkness up there. But you've heard Olimar say that there is a spider bitch on the ceiling, and then he starts running. So, what would you like to do?
Oh shit.
Ancient Joe star technique.
So spider bitch is on the ceiling. Is this more or less like a straight corridor, or?
It kind of... there's nowhere else to go. There's no other, like, openings. But it does kind of bend.
So I don't know if it'd be feasible, but I wanted to see if I could, like, corral everyone to, like, the edge of a wall, and then cast major illusion. To basically, like, make it seem like we're not there, that there's just wall there.
The wall would be about 50 feet away from you, at either side.
Fair enough, that's probably a bit too far away then.
Exciting.
In which case...
Maybe.
Is the my Scotland's going to save town?
Yes.
Okay.
On the character sheet. I love it.
Okay, in that case, just being informed that the giant spider bitch is back.
Go on. She starts going, guess who's back? Back again.
Weird question. Does dark vision affect after different types? Like, if there was light and dim light, then does dark vision go further than that?
If you're actually in light, you can't really be using dark vision at the same time.
Fair enough. Yeah, in which case then, let's do that. Knowing how squishy I am going to...
Yeah. Funny hit point.
I mean, you took one off, so it's 21 hit points.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch you.
Yeah.
Okay, you just a meat bonus.
You're like level 5, right?
Yes.
Wow.
A D6 hit dice and no pluses to Constitution, I don't think, so... Again, I made him sickly looking for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what did you do? Go on. What do you-
Yeah.
I want to know.
So I can't see exactly, but the guy who told me she's there can, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I pointed at her.
Okay.
Yeah, that could, if you probably see where he points, so...
In which case, I go... Fireball!
Okay. As the raw rules is you actually have to see the location you're aiming at. But that doesn't really make much sense to me. So
It's funny.
yeah, it's also quite funny.
Well, at least you're probably going to see it now.
So what the fireball looks like, from all of your points of view, you see this kind of line of little orange kind of line, like go to a point. I suppose you've got to roll for aiming because you just kind of you are kind of guessing. Make just a charisma check.
Okay. I'm thinking this now. No. I'm pretty sure that's +3, so...
21.
Yeah, should be.
Right, go.
Yeah, charisma +3.
So, the line of light from this orange sort of line, it sort of does light up the area just around it a little bit. And you do see what appears to be the face of a drow on the ceiling just near the line. Her face looks shocked. And then you just see a ball of flame appear on the ceiling for a minute. Well, not a minute. For a moment. And then it disappears again. Right. So, Dex saving. Your DC is
14.
She fails.
Okay.
Yeah, she actually failed.
Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I guess she's casting this as a third level spell. If you have to, it is fireball. But it is still this many. Yeah.
It's great.
Just do that so I know I have that there. And then I want to check to see the order of this.
I think you need to. I think you can choose to use an
It says when you roll damage for a spell. Okay.
It's like it reloads the ball.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm definitely going to use meta magic then. So I'll use 1 sorcery point, which lets me reroll up to 3. So the 3 ones.
Yeah, pretty perfect.
Yeah. And that's a lot better.
Pretty worth it.
Yeah.
So 6, 12, and what was that? That's
I love the
22,
Batman voice.
that's 26, 28, 30, 35 damage.
So 35 fire damage. Okay. So there's the sound of a fiery explosion and a screech as the darkness takes over the cavern above again. Just seems like a very enraged screech. Then it is actually her turn.
That is 1 sorcery point.
So, what happens is that he seems to go over to. You see this. You're actually you and does Gomira have the greater of that? Right. She actually seems to go over to the top of the ceiling towards the exit, and then lands in front of you.
Shit! Hi!
She did seem to, like, as she lands, she draws a sword, and it's still hitting back into you, but then you run away.
Yeah, so I've gone that way because she was above us, and she's gone above me and over me.
Yes.
Cool. So I'm gonna go back to us fine.
So, because
Just insert that scene from Jojo.
Yeah.
because you did that, she like looks really angry and yells like "coward," and then drops the sword and pulls out a bow on her back.
Nice.
She makes a shot at you.
Lovely.
That is a. Oh, let me look at this dice. It is a 20. Okay.
Ah.
It's the Christmas night you workshop.
That's actually
Good stuff.
good. Right. Take your dice for inventory. So take.
You don't want to use the rolling tray.
Oh, I guess I do.
If you want.
Okay.
But I think it was closer to you if you wanted to have one to use as the DM.
Hold on, I'm just doing some math. You might be able to use like uncanny dodge or something.
Oh yeah, how's that one?
I think that's something.
I think that's the evasion. I think uncanny dodge. Just mentioning it.
An attacker that you can see hits you with an attack. Use your reaction to halve the attack's damage.
Yeah.
Ah, oh,
It's pretty good.
it only costs my reaction as well. That's great.
So-
So,
What happens is that you get hit, but you kind of like get grazed by it rather than it going like right to your
Yeah.
chest.
Nice.
So let me think for a second. It'll do.
Just do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does 9 piercing
Lovely.
and 5 poison. Well, the end of this arrow will likely pull.
Cool. That was damage.
Then I believe it is Alma's turn.
Nice.
Don't matter any of his Pikmin.
Yes.
Ah, yes, my big one that I definitely had. So, I think what attempt use parry. 60 foot, I can take a 20-foot view. Anything in range is outlined in blue, green, or violet. Any creature the area was cast is also outlined if it fails a dex saving. Not what dex saving throw me against, but not spellcasting. I get it as drown life.
Oh, I see. Right. So it's just based on your. It's like 8 plus proficiency plus.
Okay.
What's your charisma? I believe. What is it?
Minus 1. So it's 8 plus 3 minus 1. Yeah, very average check.
Wow. You rolled 6.
Oh my god. Okay, so she looks up blue now.
So she is outlined for everyone to see.
Yes. In blue light. Any attack roll against the affected creature or object has an advantage if the attacker can see it, and the affected creature or object cannot benefit from being invisible.
Okay. Are you also moving, I suppose?
So where is she in relation to me and in relation to the party?
So she, at this moment in time, will be about 40 feet away from you.
Cool.
And you would be about...
Cool, I'm going to be 20 feet behind the party.
Yeah, okay. Just like leg it.
I have mobility, I have 40 feet movement.
You just straight up run.
So yeah, light her up and then get behind the party.
Then I believe it's Gomira's turn.
Oh, how far away is it?
60 feet away.
It's just like sounded like, is this bad? Are you okay? Okay, no talking now. Okay, and I'm gonna cast negative energy flow.
Oh.
It's the most powerful things he has.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what's happening there? And so he has to make a Constitution saving throw 19, and I need the help.
That is a strong spell.
Rose going last because he
Ooh,
just
she-
up
She rolled 20.
what leads up because it
He
Nice.
succeeds, but that means he takes half.
Right.
D12, D12s. 12. D12,
That's D12.
D12. D12. I need one more. That's a D12. Okay.
Okay.
6, 10, 17, 28 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And then if she's still a lot up, my skeletons will shoot her.
Okay. So I think something will happen like before the arrows hit her, but
It's kind of insane.
just like so roll for their attacks.
They're gonna do the sword bow. One gets a 2, one has a natural 20, one has a nat 1.
Okay. Wow. For that one, I'm imagining it's stuff with one on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't pull it properly.
One has a 15, one has a 19.
Is that with the Okay. So the 19 and the 20 hit.
Oh.
The other one goes whizzing.
Oh, are these attacks, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attacks have advantage.
Oh, they do have advantage, yeah. So you can roll again for
The other two.
3,
Yeah,
actually.
for the 3 that
Three.
anything that was lower than a 20,
What
you
is
can
the
roll
thing
again.
you cast?
Fairy Fire.
Okay.
So it like lights her up, it like outlines them.
Okay, so the 2 that missed. The 2 and 6.
Oh my god.
So a 10 and a
Yeah.
yeah.
Reroll the 19.
Yeah,
right?
you can roll the
Yeah.
19 as well. Possible to roll a 20.
No.
Ah,
So, okay. One of them hits, one of them crits.
The hit.
That's use.
That's a 6. 6, so 12.
Okay.
4 plus 6, so 10. Doubled 20.
Right, okay. So, after several hits, as the arrows are getting shot, you hear her yell, "You bats!" And then she gets hit with the arrows. She's like, she picks up the sword. She's like, "I will never forgive you."
I'm not even that's my grandmother, she's dead.
And then it's Rhoda's turn.
Okay. I am the health and safety officer. I must put a stop to this high-risk situation immediately. So I'm going to pull out the silence hammer and just try to bonk her on the head.
She is currently 60 feet away. I think
Good
when,
crowd here.
I think
Yeah,
when you're
can I, like-
enlarged, you're a bit faster.
I was thinking, I'm now larger. I'm just going to run up to her and like smack her.
Yeah,
What's
you
the
mean,
average fast
keep in mind you're like twice as your size.
I do also have the call to attack ability, so that I can, if everybody is, what's the distance?
What's interesting
60
is
feet away.
Okay, basically because I can like, give people a weapon attack as a bonus.
it doesn't actually enlarged doesn't actually say that you get faster, but it makes
Okay.
sense to me.
I can ride over further.
What I would say is that rather than moving 25 feet, you could move like 30.
I want to sort of walk up to her.
But I mean, to be fair, if you could just run and then you'd get to her, but you won't get to attack.
Yeah. If you dash, you'll reach her, but then you won't have a.
Yeah.
But you could walk halfway there, do your thing, and then do it next time.
Yeah, I'll sort of stride after the party, make my way towards the
exactly.
cause of the high risk situation.
Oh, we took a look.
Give everybody can I use the call to attack to give everybody that, or does that only work after I've attacked?
Let's see what's the wording on it.
It says, all up to 3 allies within 120 feet
Nice.
that can hear it can use their reaction to make one weapon attack. You've used your reaction, but otherwise, other allies can. To make one weapon attack. If you have a weapon.
Maybe you better off dashing, because I'm the only who could benefit, and I can't do it right now.
Technically, the skeletons can hear you.
I have crossbows.
You say, can I be like,
Let's go! Come on!
follow the procedure, and on my command you may attack the creature
I imagine
because of the high risk situation.
I imagine you call out the 3 skeleton names. Could we just have those again, please?
Oh yes, let's go!
Okay, so there is Elbul, Zadra, Lucky, that's the second move, and Admund.
So you can call out 3 of them.
I can have a look at that so I know how to.
I got a little sheet.
Admin. Ducky. I don't remember how to say these.
Comes Velvul.
It's Veldwell.
Velvul.
So I'm probably not the best at pronouncing Drow names.
Yeah.
Names given by Drow. You must perform your duties to our colony on my command.
So they get another volley. You could roll for them.
Advantage.
Green with advantage.
Oh, and they do have advantage, yeah.
That fairy fire is coming in clutch right now.
Yep,
That, and I love a friend here who can't see very far, but still see it. Because she's little.
Yeah, she gets the.
being haughty and giving her last
Thanks for the advantage. Because that is another nat one. I think that's Ducky.
Wait, is that a double nat one?
No. One, well, no, this is the first roll for them. So that'd be a nat 1, a 9, and a 14.
Unless you mean like Ducky rolled a 1 before.
Yeah, Ducky rolled a 1 before.
Yeah.
And then their second. Ducky rolled a 20.
Nice. Great.
And then the other one is like, still low. The 14 and the 20 had a.
The 14 and 20.
Yeah.
The 14 doesn't hit.
Mhm.
Only the 20 does.
Yeah.
No crit. Let's go.
But,
It's not a crit.
it's just unnatural.
And
But yeah, that
That's
hits.
not after. Ah, so it
they
isn't.
got a 16, they get +4. That's Ducky.
Okay.
Yeah, go Ducky.
Roll for Ducky.
We all believe in Ducky.
1. Done 6.
Oh my.
So 7.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
Necromancer.
Yeah.
You get me.
Competent undead.
Yeah. Okay. So another arrow just hits her on the side. She like gets it in the arm. She doesn't even seem to be noticing at this point. Then it goes back to
Nemesis. Okay, so my plan at the moment, like, no, this right. Oh, that's a point. Can I cast the same spell twice if it's a bonus action and an action at like 2 different levels?
The rule is that you can't cast more than one spell of any level in a turn. You can cast a cantrip spell.
Yeah, okay. So,
Yes.
well,
I
that's only
think
if
the
the
best two spells even all cantrip.
You can if it's a cantrip.
a cantrip
If
can,
for some
but the spell
reason-
has to be a bonus action, doesn't it?
Yeah, basically, if for some reason you're able to fit it in action.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the cantrips are action.
Yeah, but even so, I didn't realise that was a thing. I thought it was one spell per turn.
If you're a sorcerer and you can.
And I can quicken my spells to make it bonus.
Oh yeah, it works. Nice, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I was doing a lot of research on sorcerers at work just so I could, just for this one character, and because it's the first class I ever played, I wanted to brush up on it.
Oh, I love Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Watching way too much Underdark.
Yeah. You told me about the videos, I watched the
It's
videos.
fucking great.
We're gonna have to think about, assuming he survives and stuff. We're gonna have to think about, like, which elf clan Nemesis was banished from.
I mean, clearly the Moons, because of his alabaster skin. That's the one he clearly belonged to.
Just told the fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, he was practicing a lord of necromancy. In his own way. More just so that he wouldn't keep dying as much.
Well. Oh god, all the wild magic, they probably really want to put it.
Yeah. I was born under the first full moon of the new decade. Gave me the wild magic, sir.
Just the judge how big the elf was.
Yeah.
Pokemon are missing somewhere and just left him there and just fucked
Yeah.
off.
I know.
Party pretended they died and like
Not actually there.
they used like an illusion to make it look
Oh
like
my God, yes.
I'm the one that cast the illusions, though.
Exactly, out illusioned you.
No, I'm the
True
illusion
judge.
boy. I'm the one who tricks.
Oh my god, it's perfect.
Okay, well, I'm gonna cast Ray of Sickness as a quicken spell.
Okay, very nice.
So, I'm not doing it at 3rd level, but I am doing it at 2nd level. That's an 18.
That hits.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked at Brave Sickness for a while. So what is it?
Ray of Sickness as 2nd level is, because it's just there anyway, it's 3d8 poison. And I must make Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, it's also poison until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
So it's 8, not these 6. And where's my triangles? 1, 2. 3, 7, 6. 16.
Okay. So 16 poison damage.
Yeah.
Which I am interested to find out that she is not resistant to the rain. I mean, it's not bad.
So that was quicken, so it was that, which is 2 sorcery points, so I'm already halfway.
She also failed, so she's poisoned, which means she has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability check
Nice.
for the beginning of your turn.
Okay.
Speaking of, it's actually.
Actually,
I do have to.
yeah, because with quicken, that was my bonus spell. So with my main spell, I'm going to cast Chill Touch as my cantrip,
Okay.
which is the cantrip I took from my elf, so I only get +4, not +6.
Right.
Right there. Does this get advantage still?
Is it an
Whatever it's listed with Verify is an attack.
Yes.
Oh.
It's spell attack, so yeah. You have to hit the tower though.
I have no depth perception. Well, that's a 5 with advantage. Yeah, 14 +4, so that's 18.
18, yes. That doesn't hit. Wow. Yeah.
Hold on, the other one was 18 and it hit.
No.
No, it's 19. A 19, a 20, and a 20 have hit so far.
There's no 18.
18 has not hit, which means her AC is 18. We figured it.
Oh, you mean your roll?
Yeah, I got 12 +6, that was 18.
Oh, well, if that's the case, that should have missed.
Oh. Hold on,
But because we already did it.
retroactively.
That's fine.
No.
Yeah, but because I kind of already allowed that, I'll let you keep that one, but the chill touch misses.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I should have realised. It's high, I see. Very good. You've actually got quite, well, I mean, the area effect spell, and then the saves, you know, that kind of
Yeah.
just circumvents it having a good AC.
We got lucky as fuck, is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Also the Verifier.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, Verify hitting was super low odds.
Also then calling out the extra shots. So it's actually her turn. So she wouldn't normally be able to do this.
Uh-oh.
So, because there are webs going across this room, she actually climbs up onto some of them and then moves much faster through the webbing and then lands right in front of Gomira. He has disadvantage, but oh, okay. But she makes 2 of her sword attacks. That's a 14. That is a 10, so she gets the 14 plus 6 is 20. I'm waiting to hear if you're going to try and do something.
The AC's 30.
Right, so shield will be. That was. She got 20.
Yeah.
And. What, so 25? Yeah, so she makes these 2 sword attacks. They both hit you. I'm imagining your hand comes up to try and cast the spell, but she just hits you before you have a chance.
Yeah, I get +5.
Oops. He is using it. So that's 9 damage on the first one and 13 damage on the second. As she does this, imagining you kind of get pretty put up and actually you're probably pretty shocked. She then grabs you by the cuff, one of her hands, and she just yells at you, "You knew, didn't you, sister?"
Yeah.
Then it would be Olimar's turn.
Probably. I'm going to shoot a bitch.
Which one? I see. I mean that in the sense that if you roll now, you're at point blank. They're at point blank range of each other.
Ah,
So don't roll a 1.
this guy got advantage. How can it be to hit?
Well, I'll go with the old school rule. She kind of grants a +4 AC, but she's directly in the way. Right now.
Nice.
Although, do you have anything that forgoes cover?
Don't think so. No.
Go on, either and just aim for the
Oh wait, I believe Verify stops you gaining advantage from cover.
Oh,
Let me check. Since I have it in my spell book.
Like, your movements is up there, just like.
The creature can't benefit from being invisible. Oh no, yeah, cover's fine. It's invisibility that stops. But yeah, no, it's fine. You're still in cover.
okay.
Alright, let me check what plus I get to hit with my bow. It's still possible. It's still possible.
Okay. You do better.
Yeah. 11 and a 2, so that's a 17 top digit.
That would.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, wait. Oh, yeah, 17 was the.
Yeah, 17 was the highest.
I'm having a weird moment because, well, technically, no, it wasn't the. So yeah, you hit kind of. I guess you're trying to not hit Gomira, and in doing so, you kind of just the arrow just goes past this lady's head.
Damn it.
Anything else you want to do?
What's the space between me and the spider lady?
Just continue.
He's just running.
We're not turn back anyway.
Oh yeah, so technically, by the way, she went like right over Border's head.
Okay.
And now she's like directly behind.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess it would be. Oh, yeah, Gomira's turn.
It's basically.
Have fun.
So I was like, what are you talking about? I am not my grandmother. How can I be grandmother?
Would you like to roll persuasion with discipline?
Maybe 14.
14. Okay. You think you like see her eyes like squint a little bit as you speak, but she seems to then like just seems to kind of almost ignore what you're saying.
Yeah.
And just keeps yelling like, "You bet! You know how damaged I've been all this time." What else are you doing on your turn?
I don't know how you've been damaged because I don't know you. Just like put my hand on her face and cast magic missile.
Okay.
An attack that cannot miss.
Sure. What what level and therefore how many?
Probably just as at the 4th level.
Okay. So how many is it?
I don't know.
Exactly. Hence the machine gun noise.
Let me see. Magic missile. Where the hell is there? It is. A high level, second of high spell creates one more dart above. Each slot above first. So I just get one for each. So you would have 7.
Okay, so
That scale's
7d4.
Yeah, but it also always hits.
Yeah. No problem for a reason.
Yeah.
Anyone's got
So this would be
d4s.
74 plus 7.
Yeah, because each individual one gets this spell.
Each individual one gets plus 1.
I thought they got. Did I get you spell damage bonus?
No.
It's better.
And it's scaling.
They really just are terrible.
Yeah, it's not great really at passing at high levels, but it does something. Okay.
4, 8, 12.
Did that.
I think that one's a 2.
Yeah.
So 14,
15, 16, right?
There's
15,
one.
15, 16, 20.
Plus 7 is 27?
27, yep. And then the skeletons will be attacking with the swords.
Okay.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Nat 20. 2 nat 20s.
Oh, right. Well, you want to roll the other 2 because you have advantage still.
Yeah. So that would be 1 minute. A 13 and a 21. just normal.
Right.
And yeah, because that was the 13, so
Okay.
23.
So 2 crits and a hit.
2 crits and a hit.
I'm gonna say we don't actually roll damage here.
Okay.
25 came in clutch.
So yeah, basically imagine that you cast this force and it blasts her. Sort of, she kind of tumbles over, and then is they're still shooting at her?
They're using the swords.
Okay, so they like
Cut at her legs.
they just drop the bows, and the 4 of them basically like just the Snurfliblin like little sword gets dodged, and then the other 3 just like stab the shit out of her, and yeah, she dies. They seem to have mainly aimed for the abdomen and her actual like human part of her body. As she's dying there, just bleeding out,
You know my grandmother.
she just kind of goes,
Thank you.
and she just fades.
I was very confused. What? I don't. What? Do you understand anything about this?
You probably know that.
Following instructions from the health and safety officer, the
No, not-
high risk
not
threat.
Oh my god, you okay? You got
The
hurt.
high risk was
Yeah, I'm fine. Why do you
Removed.
care?
Did you got hurt? Why would they hurt?
You're weird.
And so?
Whatever. Hey, come on, let's go. The other way.
The healing spells in. Okay, sorry for that. That's not my speciality.
The
I can only heal
skeletons,
undead.
they all sort of like pick up their weaponry.
Oh yeah, I'll like grab it if I'm not like it.
Yeah, you find it with your dark vision. It's like sticking right next, in the wall next to the exit.
Nuts.
Introduce myself to you. Hi, I'm Gomira. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Nemesis.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Oh, you're like so loud. You've got stuff this yet?
Yes, I've been trying to get back, but I've been lost for bloody ages.
Oh no, hopefully we can help you. I'm doing this my best. I'm so excited. Did you know you have like animals that have fairy?
Yes, there's plenty of them. There's the rabbits, the bears, the
I
owlbears.
just put to my pet rat, by the way, that is actually a little, a little golden eyes.
Mm.
Familiar. This is Lusky. You'll be very probably happier. Hey, Lusky.
I'm imagining, so it's a rat.
Yeah, it's like a white and brown. I've got
It's
pictures.
white brown, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very fat.
Very fat.
I love it.
oh,
He really likes this.
I've got to take a picture of that and put it in the actual video.
Take bits of the book. I've got views on it.
Did you
Yeah.
send that picture to me to send the artist?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Holly's got a picture.
I just reach out with one finger and just like slightly scratch it behind the ears.
Yeah, it's like pop world over.
Yes, we have a lot of these up there. We mostly consider them vermin, though.
Oh, it's a vermin. It's not.
Only the dirty ones, the ones we keep as pets, we keep as pets.
You can just wash the dirty ones and keep as pets.
Yes, but there's too many of them.
Oh no, that's not that.
Hey, introduction to Great Roll. Shall we leave it for another spider lady shows up?
Oh yes, it's a good idea.
Well, yeah,
Well,
I suppose
see-
you.
The high risk situation has been removed. We can continue.
There is probably one thing that comes into Drodo's mind, though. It's probably, I'd say it's up to you and whether or not he decides to respond to it. Generally speaking, any denizen of Menzavar is an enemy and not to be trusted.
Yes.
Technically, he would be one. But then again, he seems like he might be on the run, which might mean that he's kind of longer a denizen. It's a bit of an iffy, weird.
Sort of confront him about this. I sort of make some notes in the risk assessment scroll. Like, you there, stranger.
What?
Yes?
Who are you? Why are you here?
Just ignoring all him around.
Yeah. You're talking to me or him? Because he seems very interested in this conversation.
I would need to talk. I would need to address both of you. Who are you, and what is your purpose in these caverns?
Go on, Nemesis, lead the way, please.
Oh, listen, do all surface elves not have eyebrows?
Ah, how do you know I have eyebrows? They're just extremely platinum blonde.
I like them.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
You can just about see thin eyebrows. Probably are not very used to blonde hair. Well, you're used to white.
Yeah, occasionally red.
Anyway, my name is Nemesis.
Join this is like,
Yeah, I imagine you would.
Broder is going to just sort of grab him by the shoulder
Yeah, I just
while
grabbed
still
him.
being
I have
giant,
no
point
strength.
him in front of the
Yeah,
party.
same.
In front of
I'm
him, like,
Same.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I cannot rule you out as being a danger. As you seem to have come from that other city with the giant spider lady. I must fully risk assess this situation.
Is it a vegetarian risk assessment?
Oh, yeah.
They are very important.
Ah, in that case, you might as well follow one out for me. I've been known to explode from time to time.
It's like back up
I do not have the time to fully risk assess an exploding elf man.
Ah, very well.
What can I say? I was going to get put up on a sacrifice. I decided that was a terrible idea because I liked living and I tried to escape. And then I met that lovely lady who we've just gotten rid of, shall we say.
You probably find the description of lovely a bit strange, considering that she tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You probably find that a bit. You don't have humors.
Threat level medium might change later.
Damn, I didn't realize we had two nemesises in the room here.
So, you're traveling for maybe 40 minutes. When, well, something probably a bit strange to pretty much all of you except for us. The cavern seems to just start getting brighter. Seems like there's some sort of source of light that must be quite powerful in order to penetrate this far into the cavern.
Sudden increase in light levels properly signpost to avoid damage to eyes.
It's pathetic.
Yes, I think I'm going to need to cover my eyes or something.
Relatively speaking, it's still only like dim light. It's still quite dark actually, but
yeah.
Maybe some light blocking glasses would be a suitable form of PPE for this situation.
I think that's based on that.
as you continue walking, and basically every minute it seems to get brighter and brighter as you're moving. And in fact, when you round a corner and seems to be some opening to the cavern, the light coming from outside seems so very bright to all of you, especially on.
Something's looking familiar around here.
How the hell do you put up with this?
Changes in light levels seem to be causing eye injury.
Yeah. Olimar's like definitely like squinting and covering his eyes and everything.
Not all the time, only about half the time. The other half is it's more or less down there.
Oh, is that like the sun?
Yeah, the sun is the
I
bright one.
think he died.
Yes, I did hear something about that.
Yes.
That's partly why I was down there in the first place.
Oh, really? Yes, apparently a god died and the world is going to end in 5 weeks.
Why the fuck did I come up here?
5-week time scale to the end of the world.
Right.
Possible?
Where are you guys? You don't worship that spider bitch, do you?
No, of course not.
Cool, I've got an idea.
We maybe worship King Sealy, but there's other gods that we worship as well.
So rather than go straight down the spider tunnel, take a left down the fungus tunnel and your place is there somewhere?
Yes.
If you follow through the fungus canyons and avoid hostile encounters with the local wildlife, then yes, you will find the city of Hun'ett.
Oh, but you should come with us because my friend here is going down again.
I will be returning to Hun'ett.
Cool, I'm gonna stick with you.
Where are you from? You from that bad place?
Yes.
Oh, you don't like that? They tried to invade us like hundreds of years ago. I think we can.
Do not worry, the problem
Probably
they
actually knows your grandmother.
Yes, maybe when my mouth about them.
Possibly. Anyway, yeah, they're complete dig bags. But if the world's going to end up here, I'm going to go back down, thanks.
I have fun with that.
Well, you have fun with that.
Oh, thank you. I hope you have fun tonight.
Well, as long as I'm not going to sacrifice to a spider god, it's going to be better than where I was.
Oh, no, we don't sacrifice.
That'll do.
Even when you die, we'll take good care of you. My best friend's here.
Yeah, it's going to get a bit use.
There's a lot of undead. Clean, very looked after, very friendly. I got that dead skeletons.
Spiders.
We don't sacrifice people.
Okay, skeleton state.
We are very, very keen on freedom. We got invaded a lot.
Now, proper safety precautions are in place to prevent raids in future.
Yes, and we have a lot of undead to fight.
Yeah, I like you guys already. Yeah, fuck this overworld's going to blow up in a few days.
And you too, just got you and it's like walking along with you. Pretty fun.
Do not let that spell tome be on the surface when the world ends.
Okay, I will cast teleportation so I can go home for well then.
There is something that it made. He's probably even slipped his mind, but he remembers in his mind, he's like, oh god, there's this moment in the library book that says you must take individual to the surface. Technically,
Damn it!
She just sort of like continues walking.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we are this many miles away from the surface, so let's keep walking.
But we could just. It's right there. She can make it herself, right? We could just go back.
I am the health and safety officer, so it is my duty to safely escort her to the surface.
Oh, I'm not going to get along with you.
I once got lost.
And I will safely escort you back down to Hun'ett afterwards.
I once got lost in the library.
A good thing that I run that library.
How big is your
Ship
fucking
shape.
library?
Not that big, but not get lost.
What, valuable books?
Yes, of course we got rid of
Excellent.
We decided the library.
And make sure that the
I
books
thought
of
so
highest
you were
value
doing
are protected with utmost care.
It has like a ridiculous amount of spells in.
When she remembers to bring them back in on time.
Level 10 visit. I'm sorry about that, but it's getting done. There's so many interesting books.
Okay, don't fuck with her.
you also are well aware that that's not actually the most powerful book
Oh yeah.
in there. The actual most powerful one is probably the Unavi's Room.
This is mine. I'm average visit for that.
Holy shit, no wonder you guys can't get raged anymore.
So I guess the party splits. Well, I guess Drodo's going to go all the way.
Going all the way up to the surface, dragging him with me,
Yeah.
and making sure she's escorted.
So the party doesn't split quite yet.
No, because Ollie's not going to go on his own.
Yeah.
And what he just went through. So he's going to go with the pie, but when this guy goes back down, he's going with it.
Makes sense. So yeah, the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter.
Yeah, at this point he's like,
Once you actually get to the surface, Olimar himself actually starts to. Well, you are now under the effects of the blinded condition, unable to see really very far at all, beyond just the ground around you. Actually, I think it's an interesting cinematic to imagine it from Olimar's point of view. It's his hands.
Yeah, Hans, they do nothing.
And you can see a little bit of
Yeah.
dirt. Strange colour because he's used to it being grey,
Yeah.
sort of stone dust. But this now is brown.
Hey, this isn't my skin colour.
Seems to be a kind of slightly moist as well. And then he starts to see green stuff, green spikes coming out of the ground that he doesn't know what they are. There's grass. It seems to be soft. The rest of you, those of you that first of all,
Yeah, I'm just hands on my head, just like. Ratchet! Fine! Now, where the hell did I come from?
you are getting the sense of flowers, very sweet scents on the in the air. You're seeing around you for the first time obviously grass, but also these large structures. Well, your closest equivalent would be the inn.
What's that?
Roderick's going to sort of reach into his pocket, pull out an empty scroll, give it to Gomira and say, "It would be useful for us to expand our knowledge of the surface world.
Yes.
If you could write me a report about anything that you think we might need to know, please do so."
Okay, I will write you a very extensive report.
Yes,
This would be most this would be most preferable. He's a little bit flabbergasted at everything that's happening.
What are you writing? Oh, very sweet.
So, yeah, you are accustomed to susur, which are a type of magical tree with no leaves that live on magical energy. You have only 2 of them in Hun'ett. You sort of act on them, so they sort of create a little bit of an empty building. Around you seem to be lots of the, well, you guess, susur, but they have these green things growing on them. There seems to be lots of them.
I like to imagine all them all bumps into one.
Yeah, it probably does.
That's amazing. We have so many sisters and sisters like her. I was constantly just walking around saying, "Oh, it's great. Look,
The-
look, look, mate."
Small check. Or if he wants to roll arcane,
Yeah, because
what would be decent?
you'd
He's
think.
intelligent, so
But it probably isn't.
he's...
Yeah.
Is he proficient?
I have +1 to wisdom because elf. So arcane. Yeah. No, it's actually +4 because proficiency, so that's 14.
14. You vaguely heard of susur as being these like magic trees in the Underdark, with no leaves. You
Okay.
don't know much more than that. You've never actually seen them,
Okay. I've never seen a Cicera.
but you vaguely heard the description of magic tree with no leaves.
Fair enough. Well, these aren't just Cicera. Don't know what that. I've never seen one of them before. These are trees with leaves.
Really good. They're quite pretty.
Yes, the trees with the leaves to feed themselves. It takes the sunlight, which, yeah.
Very light, I thought.
Yeah, I can barely see what I'm doing here.
Wait,
How until it gets dark?
I'm going to take the helmet that I gave Gomira and just put it on him. Here, shield your eyes with this.
Oh! Okay, that's not as terrible.
it helps very slightly. It's like a horse rearing.
Yeah.
You
At least I can use my hands now.
as the light sort of starts, you start to get a bit more used to it. You start to see around you more. You see various animals, sometimes in trees, birds in the air. You think, well, none of you have any context, but you notice squirrels hanging around in the trees, jumping back and forth between them. And off in the distance, you think you get the vague shape of buildings made of some brown material, green roofs. You see what maybe is people. It's quite a long distance.
There's this village. The village over there, we should go there.
Well, this is the surface, right? We can go back now, yeah?
Oh, but it'd be so fun.
Look, I'd love to stay, but I can't see shit.
You are aware that
I-
you seem to have come
I
out
will not
basically
be
at
able
noon.
to stay with you on the surface as I have to get back to my duties within the library.
I want this be a bay.
I will
Come on,
have
please.
to. I will have to leave you here. I'm afraid. I have something that needs escorting safely through the pathways back to town.
How long do you get this be? And it's going to end in 5 weeks. You might as well experience it.
Yes, about that. What you've been saying that a lot. What do you mean by that part?
Oh, well, for the world to end, there's a few requirements for world ending. One of them is to kill a god. And recently, a god of the sun has died, and that's why the sun stopped in the sky. So that is the reason why there's a good chance that the world is going to end very soon. But it's going to be as terrible as we, because the world has ended multiple times before.
Yes.
This means a new order of gods.
Well,
People might survive, but probably a lot of people will.
Just out of interest, it'd be good if you could roll.
Depending on it's what happens. After my mother's there's a tavern.
She works in the library with me.
Oh yeah, there's this one tavern that Gomira knows that basically never has anyone stay.
Next door.
If you'd like a job,
23.
could do with more librarians.
So there's two things
Yeah.
that come to your mind regarding this.
I'd love to help you, Gomira, but I'm literally blind with it. So, seeing you around.
It's been very nice to meet you.
And we'll have to escort him. So I shall take my leave as well.
Like,
Hopefully I can come see the surface again sometime soon.
it's
If
massive hug.
you come back not
Gives a
dead, I'll
hug.
buy you a drink.
Okay, that sounds fun. Massive hug. Yes,
I'm not used to that.
So basically, Nemesis knows a little bit of context to the death of the god. He knows the god that died was called Duanis. And basically, you didn't know much about him, but he was like very explosive, I'd say. Very kind of bold. Whenever he showed up, he would be lightning would follow. Sort of the god. He was sort of the god of thunder. However, he also had the distinct task of basically, literally pulling the sun through the sky.
Okay.
With his death, he has been replaced by the god of the sky and the sun. Yeah, he made the sun, didn't he himself.
Wow, easy pass.
Elenus has taken that over. He's sort of the god of crops, healing, that sort of thing. Kind of seen as a god of the people. And the only other thing that you think is relevant to this conversation is the goddess Moria, who has been largely people have been calling it what would be the word? Yeah. She is the god of prophecy, and she has been telling of dark omens and how unless we act, that we are doomed. Is the kind of message that she's been putting out. The other gods and the peoples and the clans have largely been ignoring this information, thinking that it's being over dramatic. That's not to say they're not preparing at all. People have been stocking extra food and they're they've been preparing by getting more weaponry and that sort of thing. But they're expecting something bad, but they're not expecting the end of the world.
Okay. Yes, I know a bit. We know that the god that did move the sun died. He was killed by apparently some handsome man, from what we've heard. Now the new god is currently replacing them, who's moving the sun, which is why it's still there. We have heard something about a disaster from the god of prophecies.
Mulligan.
Yes, that one.
That's Gomira.
Yes. You never mentioned end of the world bad, you just said bad. Oh, that is partly why I was down there in the first place, though. We heard there was some answers or magic artifact that might have been there. Unfortunately, we died before we found it.
What magic artifact were you?
I don't know. I cast a spell and then I suddenly forgot a lot of things.
Oh no, that is very bad. I'm looking for a magic artifact. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I know it's called the Staff of Stoics.
No, we were looking for an orb of Stoics.
Never heard that. Stoics made an orb.
I never heard he made a staff.
It's very powerful and very culturally significant.
Ah, interesting.
Really honest. Yeah.
You need to combine the two items, and that's when you get like the secret ending.
That's how you get the good ending.
Anyway, you see that town over there with all the houses?
Yes.
That's where I was coming from. I, unfortunately, need to go back and tell them that everyone else died.
Oh, then let's go. Go on, my friends. Look to skeletons.
No.
One very quick thing, because they might not be expecting it down there, and if I can, I want to see if I can cast prestidigitation on the actual skeletons to make them look like there's some skin on top of the bones.
Nothing is What does that?
In which case, I'll use.
You can clean them.
Well, in that case, I'll use Major Image. So I cast Major Image on them and make it look like they are just like flesh and blood people.
Why did you do that?
It might freak out the townspeople a little bit.
Why would it freak them out? Just skeletons.
We're not used to skeletons up here. I mean, look at me, I'm...
Skeleton. I thought you were a skeleton a little bit.
Exactly, this is like bare minimum. This is like maximum people can handle.
Well, people die all the time. Like, don't humans have a very short lifespan? So they're used to skeletons.
Yes, they tend to hide them conveniently. They hide them underground.
When you do that, the ground people should go to the ground structure. Humans are very bad.
Ah, yes, but they make these tiny little holes in the ground and then I'd try and like, about yay big, stick them in a box, stick the box in the ground and bish bash bosh.
They hide away them.
No. We have headstones, we leave flowers, we pay visits.
We live in that.
Yes. We don't like the smell very much.
Oh, it's skeletons. Oh, it's zombies. But we don't know. Hygiene is very important, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when a lot of people die around here, only the ones burned alive tend to go straight to skeleton. A lot of them are still flesh and blood, and, you know, the zombie process is very smelly. That's...
Oh, well, that's why you take the flesh off. It's a very easy thing to do. I got taught that in the Necromancy.
Trust me, I do it all the time, especially with my fire spells. But it tends not to be very common.
So I guess I'm imagining that Gomira and Nemesis start walking towards the town
Yeah.
and having this conversation. I guess do Drodoc and I guess the two of you are just getting left behind.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
Just
goodbye.
like, he wanted to go back to Hun'ett, so I'm leading him through the cabin
Last
to
thing
Hun'ett.
before they disappear though. Hey, you'll want this and chucks you the helmet back.
Is this
It's just
literally your metal helmet?
It's their one. So it's like what they out of...
This isn't mine.
It's the spare
keep it
PP
good.
helmet.
Oh, thank you, Kelly.
It does... I do need to get a replacement for that one anyway tomorrow, so I shall do that when I return home. Still has a tag on it with...
That's what I see.
Okay.
You both said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Gorder's wearing his helmet, that's the spare helmet.
Yeah.
The staff members that might need it, and is sort of now leading Ollie down through the cabin.
Okay.
It should be the safest route back to Hun'ett, as I have removed the high risk from the area.
Word of warning, there's probably a lot more of those. I don't think you quite realise how boxed in you are these days.
Should probably move the risk level of this passageway from low risk to medium risk.
Can I ask the two of you? I want you to choose skills, and I want you to choose like two of them each, and they can be whichever you like. And as long as you can like reason how it helps you traverse back to the next stage.
Well, one's being stealth. I'm sure you know why.
Yeah,
Not sure what skills are an option for me.
you can choose any of them. I realise you might not have a list of skills on there. If it becomes relevant, you might make an actual story. But you can choose whatever you like. I don't know if he's actually in the that sheet. As you're like travelling back, relatively near the surface actually, you think that there is a raiding party from Menzabanzan. So basically, you particularly, you notice, actually you both hear it. And then you guiding Drodoc into a sort of indent in the walls. You both hide for a moment and let them pass. They seem to travel down a cavern you didn't even notice. Down a different way across. And then after this happens, you attempt to sort of patch Olimaro, don't really succeed.
Just
You think yourself don't have proper equipment for it.
Yeah, the the equipment for dealing with poison is back at the library.
Yes.
According to past risk assessments, it was not necessary for this journey. Then a lot of unexpected things happened.
Oh, well, we've got excellent healthcare and basic.
Basic love it.
Putting him into the recovery position is not going to work.
Yeah. No, spider poison's a bit quicker than that.
But otherwise, you make it back into the fungal canyons, make it the rest of the way. The Myconids probably weird out all the time.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
He'll definitely give them a wide berth.
Avoid them, that is the best, safest situation.
I'm more than happy to stay away from them.
They won't hurt you unless you hurt them.
Good.
Yes, and you eventually make your way back to there. We can we'll like come back in with them sometime, maybe if it ever becomes relevant. But yeah, maybe like Brandon, we can discuss like what he like gets up to.
I imagine whilst he's figuring shit out, like the library has a new assistant,
Yeah, maybe.
and he's staying at the tavern more than likely, and enjoying the fact we can have drinks.
Oh yeah, they grow a fungal beer.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's like it's this now also large enough nibbling and laugh yoga or like the
yeah.
So yeah, I'm guessing it's
Yeah.
Nice.
Just imagine mushroom beer, you get drunk and high at the same time.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
it's probably a very special, very expensive type of alcohol.
Well, I know what Ollie's spending his first paycheck on from the library.
Yeah. So you guys are on the surface, and you get closer and closer to the. It does seem to get sort of larger in view once you getting closer and closer. You also start to realize that you're kind of that there seems to be a kind of long, large, wide river flowing next to the.
I get no idea what it is.
Yeah, you're not sure exactly how wide, but pretty wide. Obviously, you've also never seen water on the surface. Usually, water seem to be stagnant pools. It's been kind of a greyish colour, but this is more of a blue. You start to also now hear things. There's shouting in common. This is not really understanding it. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know a lot of languages.
I imagine that you speak it, you do understand it, but you haven't ever actually had a conversation.
No.
So there's probably a little bit of like, you're kind of having to really think about what you're hearing and carefully deciphering it. This is your first time hearing it spoken by natives. You probably catch bits and pieces, like you start hearing probably the distinct word murderer being yelled. And I think you hear crying. Then there's probably also the name Morrigan is being shouted as well. I'd say you probably get a little bit more clear, is that somebody's shouting, like, find weapons, get the dogs out, we're going to go find them, so on and so forth. Some kind of commotion, maybe someone's been killed, and they're looking for the culprit.
I didn't roll wild magic.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't! We'll just like roll on the table just to see what would maybe have happened. Rolls.
It's like, commotion is happening. Cast wild magic.
Did Brand's group murder anyone? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I looked
table
down.
up.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's going back to you.
You see, I feel like
It wasn't
there's an
really
eagle
good.
on the...
Yeah, it wasn't really Brand's group, was it? It was just Eagle.
I know what I mean. From the Brand section.
Yeah, okay. This is just so it happened. 55.
The result of that would be your hair falls out but grows back within 24 hours.
Yeah.
That seems perfect, to be honest.
Yeah, we're just casually walking along and then just like outside of like a hood that I've been wearing, like just a bunch of hair just falls on the floor. Well, it's one of a few things that happened, and I just started kind of like scratching where it was. It's like, I can already feel it growing back. Man, this is going to reach for a while.
So yeah, guys, I suppose we'll leave it there.
Nice. Wrapped up with time to spare.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a little glance at Major Image. Major object.
Colin Tristan.
Colin, yeah, it's
Yeah.
20 foot cube.
When you say Tristan, I just think of Tristan from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah,
And then
20
DJ
foot
Bridge.
cube.
Where he has a Barney voice.
A 20 feet could easily fit 4 skeletons in it.
And you're like,
Oh.
you can be moving
Yeah.
the image as you move along as well. So you can sort of, you're sort of putting the sort of impression over the skeleton.
Yeah.
I do imagine that if someone was looking closely and the skeletons were like moving,
If they like properly inspect it, then they'll know it's an illusion.
the main thing that I'm thinking more is that if they're moving at the same time, then there might be an element of you not quite being quite in line. So there might be a bit of a strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that it's a concentration spell and I'm answering all her questions all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I'm thinking of the answer, there's like a little quick
It's
glitch.
a glitch in the animation.
And then the 10 minutes is when it just fades.
I mean, if push comes to shove, Gomira can put them in a bag of holding, but he hasn't learned that lesson yet because he thinks it's fun.
Oh, this is gonna be so good.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Why did you go kill a child again? I forgot.
Because he
On that, I will stop recording.
was a